Hey, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'll see you at 8. You're not supposed to call me. Stop harassing me. Millions of people now use smartphones. Information is available at the click of a mouse. That has allowed cybercrime and cyberstalking to spread. And you might not even be aware that you're a victim. With millions of cell phones in use, how safe are you on your phone? Facebook has over 1 billion accounts. Twitter is at 200 million and growing. Technology is advancing faster than the average person can adapt. This leaves many people with open and accessible profiles and their lives available for review.
In 2001, a friend of mine called me and said a friend of hers has this great guy to introduce me to. I was the lucky target and met the wonderful and miraculous, sophisticated con man, and he extorted money from me. Enrico Cagnotti has faked being a test pilot, a doctor, a lawyer, a businessman, a hotelier in Mexico. The thing that drives me crazy is inside jail, he has been known to contact women with his phone privileges, and even with his computer privileges, he is utilizing that to set up his next woman.
This risk increases significantly when you consider that the majority of stalking victims are pursued by someone they know, making it easier for a stalker to access information about them.
There was people on Facebook who I thought were my friends but really weren't. They were just stabbing me in the back and getting information on me and what I was doing and who I was with and what my kid was doing and where my kid was when I had him and just my life in general. And Bram would always seem to find out. Didn't matter what was happening and what was going on. And if I went somewhere and somebody had said it on Facebook that I was with them at this place, Bram would be there. He'd be there at the mall and at Walmart. Didn't matter where I was, he was showing up.
Never share your passwords with anyone, not even a significant other. Keep your privacy settings as high as possible on social networks and online pages, such as dating sites, blogs, gaming sites, or chat rooms. In a recent study, 45% admitted to checking their ex-significant other's social media pages and emails using a shared password after the relationship ended. 57% have looked in on their bank accounts. 41% of Canadians track their ex-partners on Facebook and Twitter, while only 38% follow their current partners. Information is not easy to hide, and it's even more difficult to get back once it's out there. But you can take steps to protect yourself and learn how to properly document and report this type of crime. Try a self-test. Go to Google and enter your name. Do the same for Yahoo and Bing or any other search engines you regularly use. Now try searching for your name and the city you live in, places you frequent, even your address. What results do you find? You may be shocked at how much accurate information can be found about you in less than a minute. If you think someone is stalking you or that behavior is unusual and it makes you uncomfortable, trust your gut. Be sure to document it and report any unusual behavior. More than half of stalking victims do not report crimes against them because they feel it isn't important enough. Your safety and the safety of those around you is paramount. Do not feel ashamed for reporting unusual behavior. You can take steps to protect yourself. First and foremost, protect your phone number and protect yourself from harassment by phone. In Canada, there are over 25 million cell phone users, with over half of those users owning a smartphone, iPhone, or BlackBerry, and this number is quickly growing. Over 40% of Canadians do not have a password locking their phones. Over 20% never delete personal or intimate messages. There are many ways a stalker will use your phone against you. As easily as making a call, stalkers can also use cell phones to send text-based messages as a way to harass you. They may also monitor your calls to track your location or use online software to make calls or send messages on your behalf. Like many people, you likely have personal messages, emails of photos on your phone. It's important to remember that while it may seem private, it can easily be shared. Once you press send, information is out of your control. If you or someone you know is being stalked, and you wonder how they always know where you are, they may be using information tracked from your cell phone use.
He also, I'm assuming, was stalking me because he always knew my whereabouts. I would come home from work and he would say, "Who's that guy that you were with at such and such a restaurant?" And I would think, well, how would he know that? Not thinking like, why would anybody follow me? Mm-hmm. I didn't live in that world. As a matter of fact, he even happened to know that I received a phone call from my mother early the morning that I went to the lawyers to give him money. When I met him, he said, "Why did your mother call you at 8:30 this morning?" And that scared me like crazy. Like, how could he know that? And I believe that there was one woman that I heard actually did send him nude pictures. And that's one escalation, is using nude pictures. Another escalation was his recent victim was confined, a forcible confinement in her cottage. There was a temper that he kind of anchored to this mafia life, that whenever I questioned him or whenever I tried to get him out of my house or tried to end the relationship, this kind of would percolate up and it would be scary. So I would just say to myself, okay, I just have to just stay with this guy until I can keep things calm and get rid of him in a calm way.
To avoid or combat the risk of stalking and harassment by phone, there are a few steps that you can take. Always have a password on your phone to protect it from being used by others, and do not share this information with anyone. If you think you're a victim of stalking, and the offender is using technology to track you, your next step should be to disable any GPS capabilities on your wireless device. Document the incidents, and then report to police. Here's how to disable the GPS capability on two of the most widely used wireless devices. You can turn location services on or off by choosing Settings, Privacy, and Location Services. Select Off. This will ensure that your phone will not display your location. On the home screen or in a folder, click the Options icon. Click Device and scroll to Location Settings. To turn off location aiding, in the Location Aiding section, change the setting field to Disabled. Press the BlackBerry key and scroll to save. These are examples of two of the most popular operating systems and widely used wireless devices. If your phone does not collect data, you do not use the internet, or it does not have GPS capabilities, you may not have to complete these steps. If you are unsure if your phone has these capabilities, check with your service provider or the instruction manual. Disabling this function will no longer allow you to update your current location or check in to locations on social media, and it will potentially affect your use of the map functions on your wireless device. While this may seem like an inconvenience, it could save you from being followed and ultimately protect you from danger. It's also recommended that you completely remove social media applications or apps from your wireless device, as the settings can sometimes change without your knowledge. Social media is not the only way a stalker will use your phone to harass or follow you. If you're being constantly messaged or receiving non-stop phone calls from a stalker, contact your service provider to temporarily block their number. If they are motivated, a stalker will find other means to contact you, such as online, through cell phone provider websites, where they can also send messages or even email to continue to contact you. They may also employ more complex methods, such as installing spyware on your device to monitor your calls and messages and control the calls you receive. Or they can employ spoofing to make calls or send messages on your behalf. Spoofing software allows a person to mask their identity by displaying a fake email address, name, or telephone number on the receiving computer or telephone. In some cases, it will also allow them to use your phone number to contact others. If you suspect you are a victim of spoofing, contact your service provider immediately and let them know. While they cannot stop the activity, they will be able to provide you with a record of calls or messages sent from your device and phone number, which will be useful for documentation and building a case to support you. Also, tell any friends and family who have been victims to do the same. Spyware is a technology which can be just as damaging as spoofing. Once spyware is installed on your wireless device through an email or text message link, the stalker will have the ability to monitor your calls and text messages without you being aware. In extreme cases, you can reduce your phone plan to a basic level and actually get a new phone number in order to avoid the continued harassment. Do not change your phone number immediately or get rid of your old number. This will delete records or activity from your stalker and may also further aggravate them. A person who is motivated to stalk and harass you will be angered by the loss of control they feel if they cannot reach you. Social media is one of the newest forms of connecting people from around the world. If you did the self-test at the beginning of this video and searched for yourself using different providers, you may have noticed a lot of information about yourself that you didn't know was so readily available. While this information cannot be permanently deleted, you can protect yourself and make most of it private and unsearchable. It is imperative to also disable GPS and location tracking services on all of your social media accounts, if not deleting them completely.
I just had enough. I deleted Facebook altogether, well, deactivated it altogether, and just, I don't know, it's so much better. I don't have the drama. I don't have the people running back to me saying this or saying that.
The two most widely used social media platforms today are Facebook and Twitter, but you should be aware of the privacy settings on all social media platforms you use, such as Foursquare, Pinterest, Tumblr, and Instagram. Even reviewing your Pinterest boards could give a stalker more information about you than you realize. If you are getting married and pinning wedding ideas, if there are clothes from a particular retailer you love, they may begin to frequent that store. Here we will walk you through the current privacy settings on Facebook and Twitter. These change regularly, so be sure to check your settings often. From your home page, click on Settings, or the symbol that looks like a gear. Select your privacy settings from the drop-down menu. You will see a number of different categories, including Who can see my stuff and Who can look you up. In order to ensure your settings are completely secure from public views, here are some ways to adjust your settings. Your settings for future posts should be set to Friends. Do this by selecting Edit and select Friends from the drop-down. It's a good idea to use your activity log to limit your past posts. And to select Limit Your Past Posts, which will ensure that any previous posts which were public will then be only seen by friends. Make sure that you are not easy to find on Facebook by limiting who can find you with your email address or phone number by limiting these options. Change your settings so that you are not searchable by changing the settings on your search engine link to Off. You should also limit what you are tagged in and who can post information about you. Do this by selecting Timeline and Tagging from the left-hand menu. Select the option to only have friends or only you to post on your timeline. It is recommended that you opt to review what is posted about you before it appears on your timeline by selecting On for this option. Select who can see posts you're tagged in by selecting Edit on the right-hand side. Change this to Friends. Do the same for who can see what others post on your timeline, or reduce it to only you. Reviewing the tags people add to your own posts will allow you to manage what is shared publicly and be more in control. Change this to On. Change your selection to use tag suggestions to only you. To block someone on Facebook who you do not want to allow access to your information, select Blocking from the left-hand menu. From there, you may enter the names of people you want to block, and they will no longer be able to search for you or access any information that you have included on Facebook. If they have mutual friends of yours, however, they may still be able to see some information posted about you. If you want to protect your information further, be sure to communicate this with friends who you have on social media, or disable it completely. To further manage your security on Facebook, you will want to edit your security settings. Select Security from the left-hand menu. Ensure Secure Browsing is enabled. If you suspect someone might be using your account or checking your account without your permission, you should enable login notifications. To be extra secure, you can require a security code when logging in and creating app passwords. By enabling recognized devices, you will prompt Facebook to ask you skill testing questions if you are logging in from an unrecognized device. Use your past active sessions to monitor if your account has been used without your knowledge. To manage your Twitter settings and to ensure that you are not being tracked on Twitter, here is how you can update your settings. Select the Settings menu on the top right, or the Gear, and the Select Settings from the drop-down. From here you can change your account name, email address, password, or anything about your account. Deselect Let Others Find Me by Email. Deselect Add Location to My Tweets to ensure your location is not automatically displayed. And select Delete All Location Information. Select Protect My Tweets to ensure that only those you trust can see your tweets and follow you. Deselect Tailor Twitter based on my tweets to ensure your computer does not track you with internet cookies from Twitter. Select Require Personal Information to reset my password if you have a concern that someone may be accessing your account. Select Save Changes. Ultimately, any information you post is still available and is public once posted. You can and should limit your posts even further to only people you trust and try to only send private information. This will not protect you completely. Relationships can still change, and once you press send, it is out of your control. Always be aware of what you share. If you are being harassed through one of these social networks, you can also contact the provider directly, and they will disable the offender's account as well as block them from contact with you. This does not stop a person from opening a new account and continuing under an alias. However, it will make it more difficult. While it may seem inconvenient, or like it would put a stop to your social life, it's often in your best interest as a victim of stalking to delete, deactivate, or just stop using your social media accounts completely. It will be an adjustment, but will benefit you more in the long term.
Enrico Cagnati meets women online through dating sites. He has met women online from Plenty of Fish, from Lava Life, from My Life. Facebook recently, he's been going to a Facebook application, a poker site. He meets a lot of women through there. And then there is an actual dating site attached to Facebook that he's been meeting an awful lot of women. He rounds them up and, whichever one's going to stick, that's the one he'll go after and zero in on.
Cameras are often used by stalkers to monitor a victim. Miniature cameras can be placed in objects such as pens, car keys, and stuffed animals. Be wary of accepting anything from a stalker and do not allow them access to your private residence under any circumstance. If you suspect you are being monitored on film, you can purchase a camera detector, which will find most small cameras in your home. Now that you know the essentials to basic privacy and the tactics most frequently used by stalkers through mobile technology, we will examine what you can do with your computer and tablets. It may sound like common sense, but never share your passwords with anyone, not even a partner. 1 in 10 Canadians have had their personal content leaked to others without their permission. This is not something you want to fall victim to, and it's easier to avoid than resolve after the fact. If you have previously shared your passwords or private information with your stalker, change your accounts and passwords immediately. You can also contact social media providers such as Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, or Google to request information to be removed yourself. One of the most common and easily accessed messages of computer monitoring used by stalkers is spyware and keystroke monitoring. Keystroke monitoring will return the information from your computer to your stalker, giving them access to your emails, passwords, the things you search for online, websites you might frequent. Anything you type, they will see. Spyware is a software that can be used on your computer or cell phone, which, once installed, works without you being aware. They are often impossible to detect with the standard antivirus and malware protection services. You've heard about spyware being put on your phone through text messages and emails. The same is true of your computer or tablet. If your stalker has sent you an email with files or links to websites previously, they may have included spyware, and your computer may be infected. The best course of action, if you suspect that this is the case, is to bring your computer or tablet to the store that you bought it from and have the computer wiped. This will completely reset your device to the manufacturer's original settings, but will also remove any unwanted software. Documenting and investigating the occurrences of harassment or stalking is critical to a case and having the support of law enforcement. If you're finding some behavior to be unusual or menacing, document it all in a notebook. Print copies of emails and ask your service provider for details of your calling history. It is important to keep as much of this offline as possible, as your stalker could be monitoring you online. Providing this information will help police to build a case for you. Try to keep track of anything that is of significance, the time, the date, and the location where you were. Were you with anyone? Do you think the person stalking you found you because you checked in on Facebook? Maybe a friend checked in. Or are they following you through other means? Obtain as many answers to these questions as possible, and as much detail as possible should be taken down. Keep a notebook with you at all times and record these instances as soon as you can.
While we're texting, I knew something was going to happen, so I set up a video camera. I had my friend come over and hang out with my son downstairs. And so the video camera had caught absolutely everything of him assaulting me and threatening me, and I have all the whole video still, and I have all the old text messages and of him just being a complete jerk.
It is also extremely important, if you're being stalked, that you let the person know that this is unwanted behavior. Do not try to suggest other ways that you can be in contact with them, like maybe we can just be friends, or maybe we can talk in the future. If the behavior is bothering you, and if they are harassing you, you must tell them that you no longer want any contact. Once it has been established that you want no contact, you must no longer respond to their calls, text messages, or talk to them. If you respond, that legally voids the initial request. While this may be challenging, all you want to do is tell them to go away. You know you have already told them that. They are trying to get to you, and the best thing that you can do is to not respond. Document and report them.